Greetings, dear friends. Today I'm making fish cutlets. Cutlets made with this recipe turn out crispy on the outside and very juicy on the inside. And to make sure these wonderful cutlets aren't too bland, I add a specific set of spices and seasonings, which makes the cutlets even more delicious. But as I often say, spices and seasonings are a matter of personal taste. For my cutlets, I will be using two types of fish, tilapia and Norwegian salmon. 600 grams of tilapia and 200 grams of salmon, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, 2 onions and a carrot, which I sauté beforehand in a pan. As for the spices and seasonings, I will be using two types of salt. The first salt is a mixture of salt and the zest of lemon and orange. I also have this special salt with added spices that are specifically suited for fish. I will also use a bit of ground coriander, red paprika, a little bit of breadcrumbs, and a touch of allspice. Now I need to prepare the vegetables so I can sauté them in the pan. And while the pan is heating up, I'll quickly chop the onion and grate the carrot. Once the frying pan is nice and hot, I add a little bit of vegetable oil and then put the chopped onion in to begin to fry. The heat is quite high. I don't add any salt or spices to the onion. And while the onion is frying, I'll grate the carrot. I grate the carrot on a coarse grater. I fry the onion over fairly high heat and with a small amount of oil. Because of this, the onion will have a slightly smoky charred flavor, which will give the cutlets an unusual taste. As soon as the onion softens a bit and takes on this golden fried color, you can add the grated carrot to it. Without lowering the heat, I mix the carrot and onion well and also fry them for a few minutes. I cut each clove of garlic into 2 or 3 pieces. I slice the garlic into fairly large pieces. This way the garlic gets slightly fried on the outside but stays fresh and flavorful inside. I immediately add the chopped garlic to the carrots and onions. I stir and fry over high heat for a few more minutes. I chop the cilantro greens coarsely. By this time the filling for the stuffing has browned nicely. Now you can add the cilantro here. I mix in the greens and turn off the heat. And while the vegetables cool down, I'll take care of the fish. I cut it into smaller pieces. I will grind the fish using a fine grate. After grinding all the fish, I add the contents of the frying pan to the meat grinder. Before mixing the fish mince thoroughly, I add salt and my favorite spices to it. I'm going to add a small portion of the salt, along with the freshly grated lemon and orange zest. I also add a little bit of special salt that comes with added seasonings and spices for fish. It's also very tasty, an excellent salt. Next, I carefully add exactly 1 full teaspoon of aromatic ground coriander, and then 1 level teaspoon of vibrant sweet paprika to the mixture. If you like it spicy, you can add some ground red pepper. I add a blend of allspice as well. All that's left is to add a little bit of ground breadcrumbs to the mince. Some people add white bread soaked in milk or water, others add rolled oats. And notice I don't add an egg to the mince as many people do. Now I need to mix the fish mince thoroughly, and not just mix it well, but also beat it well afterwards. If you don't do this, your cutlets may fall apart during frying. Once the mince is well mixed and beaten, I put it in the fridge for about 10 minutes. 15 minutes have passed, now you can shape and fry the cutlets. For breading I will use breadcrumbs. For the finished fried cutlets, I have prepared a plate covered with paper napkins. To make the cutlets more or less the same size, I use a tablespoon as a measure. I also lightly beat each cutlet in my palm, then coat it in breadcrumbs. And I shape it with the help of a knife. This way the cutlets turn out round and even. You can also choose the thickness of the cutlet to your liking. With this amount of ground meat you should get about 24 or 25 cutlets. Everything is ready for me and I'm starting to fry the cutlets. I set the heat under the pan just below medium. I pour in enough oil to cover the bottom of the pan. My oil is well heated, so I'm putting my cutlets in to fry. By gently moving the pan, I check to make sure my cutlets haven't stuck to the bottom. I fry the cutlets on one side for about 5 to 7 minutes, then flip them and cook for the same amount of time on the other side. You can also judge by the color of the cutlets. They should have a golden, crispy crust. The first batch of cutlets is done frying. I've achieved a nice golden crust and take the cutlets out onto paper towels to absorb the excess fat. I place the second batch of cutlets in the pan and I fry them until they have a nice golden crust on both sides, about 5 to 7 minutes per side. I also place these on a paper towel. My dear friends, these homemade cutlets made with this special recipe turn out delicious, juicy, and perfectly crispy every single time. With that, let me say goodbye to you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give a like, and leave a comment. And we'll bring you more interesting recipes. We wish all of us peaceful skies, good health, and good luck in life. That concludes our time today with Serge and Tatiana. Goodbye to everyone for now.